Welcome to Backyard Cigars. So glad of you to join me. Today we're going to talk about a company from Tennessee in the United States. And this company, Atsiniki Cigars, has a connection to Native American culture. It's owned by a Native American man. And there's a lot going on at behind the scenes with this company that you don't typically see at all, anywhere. I mean, just the stuff that they're doing is incredible, I believe. But they also released three different types of cigars. And it's just a lineup of three cigars, but they're all very well done. I can't say that. I've had two of the three. I'm still searching for the third. So I think this is a very, very good start. I mean, this company, Atsiniki, has started in 2017, and it was something that Charles Robinson started, and he has built this up. And Charles Robinson and his wife as well has been a big part of this, and we want to see what these cigars have to offer and what to expect. Now, the one I'm smoking is the entry level one, which is a Connecticut Claro, right? And we're talking here a Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper. We've got Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan filler, and I think that this is blended in a way that gives you just enough spice, just enough of a little bit of pepper, but it's really it really does have an almond like note to it, smooths it out, and really it just becomes an enjoyable smoke. And the aroma is very good on it, so that complements it. So as you're smoking this cigar, you kind of really do get a good idea of the aroma, just being a part of the experience. And this cigar measures in at 5 and 5/8 by 42 is what their website says. But I tell you right now, and just by looking at it, you can agree with me probably. This is more 48/50, but perhaps that was the original size of the cigar initially. I haven't had anything that would update it for me. Everything I searched kept going back to the 42 ring gauge in the Corona format. This is a cigar that was blended by Arsenio Ramos and Eladio Pichardo. So Arsenio Ramos is obviously a legend. We're going to talk a little bit about him in a little bit. But first, I just want to tell you the opening notes that I'm getting from this cigar. Yeah, just a very slightly dry finish and a soft wood, almost like a soft cedar as well. Slight bit of pepper, maybe some saltiness as well that comes along with it. Maybe it's citrusy, and you can take it either way. Sometimes some of you might say, "Well, that's more citrusy." Others might say, "Well, it just sounds more sour, more towards a slightly soft note that is dry and tannic." If you know what I mean, like a red wine when you have a red wine, but this is like on a very milder side. But you get all of that, which is really good because it is a mild cigar, but it isn't too mild. It gives you enough flavor to go along with that, and I think that's the part I like. Now I think that what I don't like is, and I had the same problem with it the first time I smoked it, is that sometimes your burn line is going to get a little wonky, and I've had to touch it up already. I think about 2 or 3 times. So I don't particularly enjoy having to continue to babysit my burn line and do that. But look, these cigars have been kept in the humidor now for about, I'm gonna say, a few months, and they've been at 65, 66 RH. They've been well taken care of, and these were shipped to me by a good friend of mine, George. Thank you for just making this happen. And he actually is based out on Tennessee occasionally, and was able to acquire two of the three that this company offer. So Atsiniki, and this cigar is Nanaiya, and it is 5 5/8 by a reported 42, but more likely a 4850. And this is sporting again an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper with binder filler from Nicaragua. And one thing I will say is that a little light spice in that finish right there is that you really need to have water with this cigar. I mean, I have felt both times that it's a very dry finish. You just need some nice cool water to bring things back. And because that can often, when you're smoking things like that, a cigar like this, it's kind of, it's got those woody notes and it's got a little bit of cedar and stuff. What can happen sometimes is that your palate can just become, I don't want to say I don't want to say bored, right? More like your palate can just get so, it'll stall, and it kind of won't allow you to get all of the flavors the way you want. You're focusing on the dryness of your mouth, and that affects obviously the way that you're going to taste this cigar. And water really helps fix that. Water takes that out of the equation for you. You have that water ready and have a good amount of it, because I remember I went through at least 24 ounces with the last one that I smoked. But okay, so you end up having to drink a little bit more water. And for some of you, you might say, well, I don't want to have to buy a cigar that I'm going to have to automatically buy that much water for. Or you know what? Maybe your salivatory glands are different, and the way you produce saliva and so forth might be a different way than someone else, and you'll have a different reaction. You might not think it's such a dry cigar. You might think it's just right, and that'll be your makeup, and that plays a role into it. Some of these things we might overlook them because it's easy to overlook these things. We don't always, go into it thinking that we have to have that in our heads. But yeah, it's a lovely smoke. I may have to give it another touch up. I haven't as of yet. The ash is almost ready to drop, and I want it to be a good drop, so I'm going to take care of this. So the Nanaiya, the cigar that I'm smoking, it equates to peace. So we have here, 12 years ago, Charles Robinson was in a ceremony on a Native American reservation in southern Alberta, Canada, and was given the name Atsiniki by an elder. In 1999, Robinson, a Choctaw, founded the Red Road, a nonprofit organization created to educate students and communities on the Red Road. And this is about his community. This is about giving back. Obviously, this is about doing so much more and being so much more involved in the day-to-day of this community. And they've done such a great job. I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed with what they've been able to achieve in such a short amount of time. Now, I'm going to read to you a little bit about what the company has posted on their site to get their perspective. Established in 2017, Atsiniki Cigars continues the traditions of growing and curing and sharing fine tobacco, honoring the connections born of these rituals. Our cigars are proof that the relationships we cultivate can change our lives forever, creating new ways to positively impact others as we grow. Atsiniki Cigars celebrates the time-honored traditions of Native American, Cuban, and Nicaraguan tobacco culture. While each culture is unique, through Atsiniki, they share common ground, offering an opportunity to bring premium Nicaraguan cigars and the stories of their own indigenous people to the world. Throughout his life, Charles Robinson has shared the truths about his Choctaw Native American heritage to preserve the history of his culture while visiting his wife's Blackfoot tribe in Alberta, Canada. Charles was gifted with the ceremonial name Atsiniki, meaning storyteller. Years later, offering or gift, Charles was speaking of tobacco's significance within his culture. A shared breath showing respect for another's point of view, the smoke rising like prayers to the Creator. The telling of his story revealed a friend's shared reverence for tobacco, rooted in Cuban and Nicaraguan cigar culture. Common ground led to deeper friendships and the collaborative creation of Atsiniki Cigars. Atsiniki Cigars holds the essence of both Cuba and Nicaragua and are distributed out of Tennessee. Tabacalera Pichardo in Esteli is a vibrant, wide open space, an ideal environment for cigar making. Fermented tobacco has room to breathe, and so do the people who meticulously build every Atsiniki cigar. Tabacalera Pichardo founders Luciano Meirelles, Erradio Pichardo, don't believe in tight quarters and strict quotas. Instead, they work by a different rule. Taking good care of their people makes for better quality cigars. And they say from leaf selection to fermentation and aging, every step of making an Atsiniki cigar is guided by generations, old tobacco farmers, and our master blenders. They go on to talk about the handmade product, and Arsenio Ramos has been quoted as saying, making cigars is a responsibility to the environment and to the smokers. We have to take care of both. Much like North American tobacco is heavily influenced by Native American culture, Nicaraguan tobacco carries an undeniable Cuban influence. Many strains and seeds growing today came directly from Cuba to Nicaragua, where growing conditions are ideal. The volcanic Nicaraguan soil produces a unique tobacco flavor that cannot be found anywhere else. And we do know this. It is unique. Padron has talked about how great that soil was, how it was so close to the motherland. Esteli, the site of our factory and some of our tobacco farms, with warmth, hums with warmth and life. Near our small cigar factory, mango trees grow wild. That same rich soil produces time-tested strains of uniquely flavored tobacco, providing livelihood for cigar makers young and old in every way. Esteli is fertile ground for growth. Approximately 150 kilometers to the northeast of Esteli lies Jalapa, where the remainder of our tobacco is grown. Here, the land produces tobacco of extraordinary quality, comparable with the rich tobacco from Cuba's Vuelta Abajo. Atsiniki Cigars aims to truly impact the lives of our native people and the people of Esteli, Nicaragua, on a day-to-day level. We know that our trusted partners and their teams make us who we are. They are responsible for the care and quality that goes into each and every one of our cigars. The more cigars we sell, the more lives we impact and change. And this talks a little bit about some of the poverty within Nicaragua. In Nicaragua, approximately 30% of the population lives on less than $2 a day. In rural areas, 50% of households live in extreme poverty. Atsiniki revolves around these people. Without them, we wouldn't exist. We fully support Tabacalera Pichardo founders Luciano Meirelles and Erradio Pichardo and their vision to break earning barriers for each of their workers, easing the financial burden so that many other Nicaraguans are subject to. Atsiniki believes that healthcare is not just a privilege but a human right. Our partners, Tabacalera Pichardo, have a passion to positively transform our Esteli community. Currently subject to a healthcare system that is overcrowded, poorly equipped, and underfunded, by increasing access to affordable healthcare. They offer monthly clinic services to the cigar makers and their families, with medical staff present in the factory 1 day per month. So another big deal for me, and an impressive thing for me, is that Atsiniki Cigars hired Arsenio Ramos, the legendary Cuban tobacco man, cigar man, retired in Cuba, and when he did, he started working for Aganorsa Leaf. And so here we have Atsiniki Cigars, which blended a few of the cigars, two, I believe. One and did another one by himself, which is the one that I haven't been able to find. And he blended these cigars, right? The company opened up in 2017. Arsenio Ramos passed away in 2018. So he was with them a short while, but he just left a lasting impact on everyone around him. And Charles Robinson obviously got along with him, got along with everyone that he was working with. It was just perfect partnerships. They were really working, all trying to achieve the same goal. And that is not just make really good cigars, but also to do something with this cigar company that can benefit the community, that can benefit the lives of the people that need help. So that mattered a lot. And there are a lot of restrictions And when we think about restrictions and things that don't permit things to probably feel as free as you'd like to free feel, you have moments where you feel, wow, this particular regulation, it doesn't make sense. Like, does my alcohol have to be limited to 4.5%? Just a little example. But you have different restrictions, and they have actually passed legislation within the reservation territories, and this has been done. And I have examples of it. I have examples. So on December 20th, 2019, in the United States Congress passed legislation amending the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act of 2009 to increase the minimum legal sales age from 18 to 21 for all commercial tobacco products in all U.S. states and territories and on all tribal lands. The Tobacco Control Act specifically establishes that its retail sale provisions are applicable and enforced on tribal lands. This means that under U.S. federal law, all retailers located on and off of tribal lands cannot sell commercial tobacco products to people under the age of 21. And to comply with the law, these retailers must check the photo identification and so on and so on and so on, and all of the other things that have been put into place. And sometimes they don't understand that tobacco, it plays a role within their culture, and it's done responsibly and for good reasons. And I just feel that that's not right. That shouldn't happen. But on the positive, this is a company that I don't think really stops to think about those type of things. I think that they're just focused on really just putting out the best cigars that they can, not trying to expand and grow too much. Right now, I think that, obviously their distribution is very limited because you basically can only get them if you're in Tennessee. I don't know if you can get them in a bordering state, perhaps, but I'm glad I was able to try them. I did give it another touch up, and it seemed to take care of the wonkiness. Some soft creams as well, dry, powdery, creamy, but dry, very drying. But this is so far a very pleasing cigar. Very easy cigar to smoke. It's mild enough, full of enough flavor to keep you interested, but mild enough that you can just kind of really take advantage and read a book or just take a walk with this one and just enjoy your view because it's a smooth, well-paced cigar. It hasn't really ramped up in strength in any way that I can feel right now. It's been more or less at the same strength. Obviously, within the first inch, it was kind of changing where it was very mild, and then you got a little bit more flavor. Then you got a lot of nice little flavors with the cedar wood and some almond notes and like citrus notes. It was pretty nice. I think that this is a really good cigar. I think it might be an $11 or a $12 cigar. I'm not sure, something like that. And I think it's well priced. This is obviously only Tennessee where you can get it, so that's what you would pay there, and it's good enough. I'm no complaints here. Maybe just to kick a strength right now, just in these last two puffs, which actually is rather welcomed because from being very mild to just a good mildness with good flavor, now you're getting just a little bit more strength, and it's still mild enough that you don't feel that rush of bitterness or rush of leather or anything like that. It's very smooth, nice tobacco, good aroma again. So this is a correction that has been inserted into the video because I want you to know that whatever you hear me saying, either before or after that you hear me tell you this now, is that the wrapper on this cigar is actually rather interesting. It's not in I think I incorrectly said it's a Connecticut shade wrapper or an Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper. It's actually a Honduran grown uh, hybrid of Connecticut shade, and it is quite a thing. It's a nice looking wrapper. Let me tell you, it's got a nice golden hue to it, and it does give off some good flavor. I gotta say that you can really get some of this flavor from this cigars wrapper. And I said that the ring gauge might not be 42, that it might be closer to a 48, but they're insisting that this is a 42, and perhaps it is, and it's just the way it's been compressed. I'm not sure. But didn't I measure it right? Yeah, I should have done that. Didn't think of doing that. That's a strike for me. But yeah, a definitely very interesting. You're seeing this within the video, so what you're seeing in this nub, it's phenomenal. And I just think that this cigar is so worth it for for what it is, because I've complained about the burn line and everything, but it really hasn't dulled my experience with the cigar. I've given it a couple of quick touch ups, and it's been good, and it pulls well. It's well constructed as far as I can see. I feel it's been an enjoyable cigar. Keeping the water handy, and I'm good. Yeah. Look, there was a lot of fortune in Charles Robinson and Luciano Meirelles having Arsenio Ramos come into their picture and just be a part of the family, even if it was for a short time. And this is a well blended cigar. Still get a little bit of cream, still a little bit, a little bit of pepper, light pepper on the finish. It's it's good. Would I say it's a morning? I don't want to say that it's a morning cigar because it has a little bit of strength to it. But I would say if you've had a healthy breakfast, you could definitely smoke one of these. Healthy breakfast, a nice size breakfast. But yeah, this is definitely something that you should try to check out if you get a chance to stop by Tennessee. Yeah, excellent smoke. I really like what this company is doing with the community. As I mentioned before, Charles Robinson belongs to the Choctaw tribe, and his wife belongs to the Blackfoot tribe. 21 years ago, they started Red Road. The Red Road exists to empower and share hope with Native American communities all over the country. He travels with his wife, Susan, and their 7 children to do this incredible work. A couple of years ago, Charles and his wife came up with a brilliant way to support the nonprofit so they didn't have to spend so much time fundraising. They started a cigar company. It's called Atsiniki Cigars. Atsiniki means storyteller in Choctaw. I hope I'm not butchering that. I'm so sorry if I did. Their 3 cigars right now are named after 3 of their 7 children. Nanaiya means peace. And then you have Tashka, which means warrior or warrior spirit. Okay. And for some reason, I don't have the third name. I believe the third name is Imaiya. Imaiya. But I don't have what that means, the translation. So I'll add that in the notes if I find out. But basically, Atsiniki Cigars has been doing this for a long time in their own way before starting the cigar company. And now that they have the cigar company, they're relying on that sales and so much. I can get behind that. I support this cause. I would. I mean, I'm glad to be a part of it because I do see that certain people do need the help, and if we can give it to them, you know, I think that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. So there's a special connection between the Native Americans, their culture, with tobacco, and it's very spiritual and ritualistic. But this is a deep part of their culture. It means a lot. Obviously, anything can be abused, and we're all, you know, anything can happen to us. But this is something that they feel that it is their right to do so. It is their right to have this relationship with tobacco, and it's just looking at it from a different lens. Like we will look at it differently, but it's definitely something that should be looked at and examined. And I'm just talking about it, and I really like. I just love what this company is doing behind the scenes. I like what they're involved in, and you can look up some of their projects online if you want to check it out, and you'll find different things here and there uh, within the charities and within the programs that they've helped develop. And I just think it's a very positive thing that what they're doing, and it's very enlightening to just realize, man, just bind together and you can get a lot done. You really can. And what a better way within the cigar community for the cigar community to be here with welcoming arms, right? From all of us, just regular smokers, to just getting acceptance within the cigar community and being recognized for what they're doing, and really just being a part of it as well. You know, that's also a beautiful thing. I really do think so. Very satisfying. Yeah, it's, you know, it dries. It's been drying me up, and I've had to really go for the water a lot. But that, I haven't cared one bit about that. I've really just been enjoying the overall flavor, and just the smoking experience has been on point. I really do think that you tapped that before. I really do think that this has really followed through from the very beginning until now. I think it's been consistent, and it hasn't let me down. Combustion, everything. Oh, you know, just the draw itself. The flavor of the cigar has transitioned just a little bit, but it has remained fairly consistent in that it was mild. Now it's more of a medium, and it has been very flavorful with some light spices, some cedar notes, some woody notes. It's got these almond notes, and at times throughout the first and the second half, you know, you got a little bit of something what might be perceived as a citrus note. But this was well done. Bravo. I really like this, and I really feel that it's worth checking out. I think that we should just, you know, look into it and make up our own minds, but definitely look into it and check it out. Atsiniki Cigars, well done, well done. And I hope to get a chance to review the other two cigars for you. I really hope that we get some more information on the Warrior, which is the San Andres Maduro version that was blended by Arsenio Ramos before he passed. So that one is pretty hard to get. I've tried to get it, but that one I haven't been able to get. So hopefully I can get it. Listen, I want to thank you again for coming by and stopping by and watching Backyard Cigars. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching.